I'm live. Good evening, everybody. It's Lisa Loring, getting to the reading finally. I've been trying to do this reading probably for about 4 hours. Oh, this is the purpose of life is to know yourself and love yourself and trust yourself and be yourself. That was the topic of conversation at dinner tonight. It's a topic of conversation every night, every day, should be, until we finally understand what that means, right? Cool stuff. All right. I love this stuff. Waterloo. It's awesome. This is the grapefruit one. It's like no sweeteners. It's super good. Hi, Pete. And we're joined by Pete as usual. This night's tarot card reading is brought by Pete. By Pete. By Pete. By Pete. All right, let's put that up there. So yeah, I've been trying to get to this tarot reading for quite some time, but I was busy going with the flow. And so here we are. And I got 2 new tarot decks today. And they're not new to the world, but they're new to me. And they're certainly not new to me. I've actually seen them be used before. I got the Morgan Greer tarot deck. I bought that today. And I got, oh, here they are. And my friend Jessica is, who will probably see this later. She's at work doing her good work in the world. I actually knew of this, became familiar with this particular one, the Wild Unknown Tarot. This one has been out for some time. It's a really interesting, very like Zen kind of book, Zen kind of deck, excuse me. Gregory Scott, he's an awesome reader. Definitely check him out online. Come on, Pete. You want to come sit with Mom? You can come sit with Mommy? Yes, you can come sit. He was the one he uses this deck from time to time, pretty frequently actually. And my friend Jessica has this deck, and she would like to start reading the tarot and doesn't really know how to start. So I am going to help her with that. But I recommended that instead of working with this deck, which is so simple that it's complicated, that she actually work with the Morgan Greer deck, and we'll work with this deck as well. And it comes in this fun little tin. But this is a much simpler deck in terms of symbolism, and it really is a great deck to start to learn to do the tarot. So yeah, but I'm actually going to work with both. So I'm actually going to work with the Wild Unknown, even though I've never worked with it before. I've only seen it worked with. And I want to talk about the numerology on today's date. It's a number 2. I've sort of been obsessed with the number 2 ever since I did last night's reading, and was thinking about that 2 of Cups and moving from the Ace of Cups, what it means to be in that Ace of Cups energy. There was a girl who was on the chat who asked me to pull a card for her, and I did. And she was asking about jobs and relationship stuff. And so what came up for her was actually the Ace of Cups. And I think, we have to be in that Ace of Cups energy. We have to be in that feeling of fullness in ourselves before we can move to the 2 of Cups. And that goes right back to this little tag that was on my tea bag the other day. And I'll read it again. The purpose of life is to know yourself and love yourself and trust yourself and be yourself. And that continues to be the theme that comes up this entire week. We have got, make this your life. And, when we are in this energy, when we really do get this, then we can be in honest and good relationships. And I feel like at 49 years old, I would know that by now. And I've just started to scratch the surface on that and really embody that and understand that in almost every moment of my day. But it's taken me these many years to get there. And it's taken me probably this entire year since last Christmas-ish, like I was just talking about it like last December, to really understand the roots of why I didn't understand it. To know that there was something there that was actually blocking me from understanding it. And it was literally a buy-in on a belief system that ran so deep that I didn't even know it until it came up pretty strongly. And yeah, And I'm still working on this being in my own self. I would not say that my relationships are, you know, really at a place of true intimacy and share. I'm in a shareable place. I would not say that with confidence. I wouldn't even say it at all. But you know what? It doesn't keep me from trying, and I'm still connecting with people, but I continue to work more on connecting with myself. I talked about that a little bit last night too. At any rate, I hope you are too, and I hope you continue to work on the aspects of yourself that will help you continue to be better for the people around you. Because we often think that we've got to, do that for other people. At the end of the day, you really just need to do it for yourself. The other people will take care of themselves too. They'll find you. Starting to get that. Starting to get that. And whoever doesn't get you just isn't around anymore, are they? Talked about that yesterday too. Anyway, wild unknown. Speaking of the wild unknown, God, I'm getting such a wonderful root and sacral chakra sensation when I discuss that. Really resonates. Really resonates. All right, let's see. What does the wild unknown tarot have to say? Wow, these cards are kind of sticky. They kind of clump together, but that's because they're super duper new, I guess. But literally, I just got them this afternoon. Hello, Crystal Fox again. Shout out to Crystal Fox in Laurel, Maryland. That place is the bomb diggity dog. No offense, Pete. Pete the cat. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun here. Actually, I don't need my glasses on because I'm reading everything so up close. So how's everybody doing tonight? How's the day treating you? I had a lot of fun last night with everybody on the chat, and hope we get some people joining tonight. But if not, the playback is just as good. Take what resonates. Don't what doesn't. So Tarot, what do you have for us tonight from the Wild Unknown Tarot? I don't know. Every tarot has its own different take, and I've got a lot of decks at this point. I mean, not like I have a lot of decks actually, more than the average bear, but not as many as some. All right, Tarot, what is the energy that we have to work with us for the remainder of this day, no matter where we are in the world? So my energy. Oh, hi. And there's a big clump of cards, but we'll take them. We get Temperance, the Tower, the Daughter of Swords. So here's another one in here, the Devil. These are kind of clumped together. I don't think that this is correct. I don't feel good about that. They come up again. We'll remember that energy is there. Temperance. Could actually write it down. Temperance, Devil, Daughter of Swords, Tower. Not necessarily wrong, but that's kind of in order. That's why I don't really trust it so much. Usually they don't come out in order like that. And when it being a brand new deck. All right, so let's see what we've got. But yeah, so anyway, I did the numerology on the day, which came up to be the number 2. And the 2 is on the right path. And this card came up. What do we have here? 10 of Cups, 9 of Cups energy. Again, these are kind of stuck together, so I'm not, although I do love this. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. I haven't even, I just opened up this deck. It is what it is. The cards are slippery, but yet they're sticking together. It's a very interesting texture. All right, what's coming up here? The 9 of Cups came out again. So we're going to go ahead and take that one. The 9 of Cups. This is such an interesting deck, right? I love that crescent moon at the top. And we're out of the full moon energy. So this is this would be an energy that's almost coming to fullness and fruition, like before a full moon. Think on that a little bit. Anyway, the numerology on today's is the number 2, and we're moving, in order to be in that number 2 energy, just stick to the path, stay with your commitments, stay with the things that you have committed to, and continue to work on them to create that intimacy of a number 2, to moving from being in your singular, Ace of Cups place, combining with what, your that singular focus. And if it's on another person, reflect it back on yourself first, unless you're in that really sure place, and if you are, if you are. Hey, Jay, how are you? I'm happy to pull a card for you at the end of the reading. I'm working with the Wild Unknown deck. And we've got, let's see, the Ace of Pentacles. That's a great card. Ace of Pentacles is things that we value on the 3D plane, not some like imaginary plane. Is there another card here? Because this is a brand new deck. Yes, there is. Ace of Pentacles. And then the 2 of Pentacles, which may or may not be an accurate card because this is a brand new deck. And Jay, if you have a question, I would put it out there while I'm reading, because something that I say in the reading, in the general reading, this is a general reading for all zodiac signs, but something that I might say might come up directly for you. Anybody who joins in, anyone who's drawn to watch this at any point, there is probably something for you in there that you're supposed to hear. So open your heart, send your good vibes in, and ask your question, either publicly on the chat or to yourself. I'm working with the Wild Unknown. Oh, hi. We got a lot of cards that just flew right on out. And we'll go ahead and take them. I'm feeling like we should just take them. We have the 7 of Pentacles. Is that the 7? No, the 6 of Pentacles. This one's been coming up. Holy cow. I cannot believe this one is coming up again. This card has come up in like almost every reading I've done for 2 weeks. So yeah, so Jade, you did hear me on that, right? Whether you want to keep that to yourself or whether you want to, now the sun is stubbornly wanting to stay upside down in my hand. So it came out, I thought it was right side, but it's continuing to want to stay upside down. And we have the Strength card, which is the number 11. And the sun is number 19. So these are not in order here. But then the Hanged Man is coming up again. Now, this came up in conversation earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and take this one as well. So we have a few cards going on here, and I'm going to angle what's my friendship with my friend Jasmine will be in the future. Will I have success in the entertainment business? Okay, Jay. Well, we'll consider that. So like I said, you want to, I wonder if I can do this in a way that's graceful. Angle this down so everyone can see the cards. All right. There we go. I think we can see the cards here. All right. So what's going on here? Like I said, I'm working with the Wild Unknown Tarot, and we have a lot of interesting cards that have come up. We've got the 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is definitely an energy of completion. Anytime you're coming into a 9, you're working with spirituality and completion. And it may be, the spiritual ending of something, or a culmination of something. And that's, I see, they've got this moon that's coming towards full. Or, and I wouldn't say it's a new thing. I'm feeling something that's I'm feeling it's more of a culmination of something. Okay, so we've got that one that came out first. And then we got the Ace of Pentacles. So that's an interesting energy. Again, that's happening in the 3D world. These are things that we value in the 3D world. And it can be love, it can be education, it can be anything we're working on, things that we're working on or working towards in a, career-minded path, or we work on something like we make it our job. That's coming up for me, which I don't normally read that as an interpretation, but something we work on so much, it's almost like we work on it, we invest so much of ourselves that it's kind of like our job, whether or not we get paid for it. And it's something that we put in Jay, I'm not doing a private reading for you, but if there's something that I do happen to say that resonates with you, that's perfectly fine. This is actually a general reading for all zodiac signs, and I will pull a card for you that's a specific that I will specifically do for you at the end of the reading that I'm doing right now. But there may be something that comes up in what I'm reading right now that you will find actually resonates with you specifically. And so, listen up, listen closely. I see that the questions that you put out there, but these are the ones that I pulled up. These are the cards that I pulled up that have specifically to do with the general reading. But listen to the messages. It might be exactly what you need. So Ace of Pentacles, like I said, is things that we value so much that we work on it so much that it's coming to fruition and then coming up after the Nine of Cups. We're not only investing our time and energy, but we're also definitely we've invested our emotions into this. And by the way, this reading, because I'm doing it, I'm on the East Coast. It's like, whatever, 10 o'clock at night here. I don't even know. And so this is something that's cusping into the October 17th. But it's, because I'm doing it here on the night of October 16th. So whatever's happening now is now. It may have been in your very recent past, but it's definitely, I'm having the intention of placing this reading in a now and future into October 17th energy. But, the energies are what the energies are for each and every one of us. The third card that came up on its own, I believe, I think these other cards just kind of came out randomly. This card here is the Two of Pentacles, and this is juggling things. I'm really drawn to the infinity symbol. We have a lot of pentacles in this reading. We've got the Ace of Pentacles as our central card of the reading. We've got the Two of Pentacles closing it out, but we've also got the Seven of Pentacles. This card, oh no, this was the Six of Pentacles, excuse me. Like I said, this card has been coming up consistently, and this is the cards of the haves and have-nots. But the way it's been coming up, and the way I'm seeing this is like, we are receiving in the deck that I normally use, which is the Gilded Tarot, there's like these hands coming up to a man who's doling out, who has balanced things out and is like doling things out to the people who have worked very, very hard and are quite worthy of assistance, divine assistance. But again, it's happening on the physical plane. It's not happening, in your imagination or in some like future world, but it's starting to manifest right in front of your eyes. So the Six of Pentacles is coming up as well. So we've got three cards of Pentacles here of things that are coming to fruition right in front of our eyes. And they're the combination of hard work. We're deserving. We're in a very deserving kind of frame of mind here. So I think that's one thing that we need to cultivate is the fact that we are very deserving. We coming away from that lack mentality, like, oh, I don't deserve, then that's what the Six of Pentacles is about, right? The Six of Pentacles comes out of the Five of Pentacles, which is that place of, oh shit, like I don't deserve anything. I'm a piece of crap. That kind of like thinking is outmoded, is outdated. We need to look up and see that, what this branch of life this is almost like a tree of life kind of like impression, right? This tree of life impression, which gives us the, even what looks like a barren branch is actually bearing fruit. So coming from, like I said, this place of lack, that Five of Pentacles place, that being out in the cold, like not awesome, frame of mind, is actually the Six of Pentacles, which is coming, basically you've built yourself out of nothing. And that energy was floating around earlier today, was, this idea, this notion, this awareness that, we actually are, we've worked really hard. We've created something from maybe a place where we felt really, really empty at one point. And we no longer have that emptiness anymore. We no longer feel like we're not this full of the sun. We're no longer in that kind of energy. We're actually in an upright. And so I guess that's what I mean. Like, this isn't actually, we got to turn this card up the other way. Not that it matters in this deck, right? No matter which way you look at it, or this way. Yeah, okay, you can see the cat. Yeah, you can totally see. That's my Pete. There he is. Hi, Pete. He's 17 years old, by the way. He's a bit, he's and I have a brand new 4-month old too, who's black as well. And then I have two black and whites in the middle, two girls who are black and white. Anyway, so you can either look at it and, oh, there's Sophia now. And we also have, and then the card that went along with this is the, hi, Sophia. And Sophia's here too. Are you helping with the reading, honey? Are you helping with the reading tonight? Yes, you are. So, Jay, it is like taking care of a teenager, but he's like, well, being a 17-year-old though, he's like an old man, but he's not an old man. He is so spry and healthy and good. Hey, Sophia, what are you doing, Missy? Yes, what's going on? So yeah, speaking of cats, I love how, we're talking about the cats and boom, there we have the strength card. That's the lion, and we basically mastered. I love how this lion looks like Beauty and the Beast, right? As this rose. So we have the infinity symbol represented twice here. We've got it in the 2 of Pentacles, and we have it represented in the forehead of this lion. So, what a theme that came up earlier in the week, maybe around Monday or something like that, was about, what's that you're doing, Sophia? You helping? Are you helping? Was about how we have an infinite amount of energy and abundance. And even from a place of, we came from this place of lack, but we've created so much from a place of seemingly nothing. That, we're actually pulling in this like superpower of the sun. And there are also in this card, there are 4 doves of peace in the corner. Sophia, you're so funny. She is hilarious. She's totally wanting to be the star of the show. So you see then the 4, you just have the 4 doves of peace in the corners of this card. So, we're putting out this like peace and harmony. This is energy that's emanating from us, that no matter what, and it's 4, we've got, and actually I'm also noticing that there are 4 doves, which is a number of stability and foundation. Hi, Lila. How are you? Actually, it's probably Lila. Probably Lila. I hope I said that correctly. So at any rate, so we've got an infinity symbol, and this infinite, we have an infinite well of, and I'm looking at this Ace of Pentacles, like the center of that tree. And I also brought up this as an imagery of a tree of life. Like we are the tree of life. Like we can dive, we have an infinite amount of energy and any kind of imagination right now that we aren't that abundant. This 9 of Pentacles, this 9 of Cups, and we aren't in this 9 of Cups abundance is just an imagination. Tap into the energy around us, tap into the powerful energy of the universe that actually wells up from within. Dive into a place where you think you haven't got anything. You got it all. You got all the strength in the world. What does my mom think about after abandoning me when I was about a week old? Hi, playlister. How are you? I said it right. Hi, Lila. I will pull a card for you a little later, playlister, okay? This is a general reading for all signs, and so if there's something that resonates. And so, I would say for you, playlister, as far as like whatever your mother had to do at that point, at this juncture, your life is your own to create. And, we all have the upbringings that we have. And some of them are pretty horrifying. And I don't know that anybody's got a lock on that. Has, it's difficult for a lot of people out there. And we have a lot to get over. And we, our belief systems, we can either buy into them or we can take control of our lives, and just take control of our lives, actually create something, juggle something, create something new, create something that's infinite in abundance. And that well of abundance is always going to come from within, but it can take a while to get there. If you go back to the beginning of this reading, I invite you to do that. I described something that I've been working through that actually had to do with a lot of devil energy and some really messed up belief systems I had as well. And it's taken me a good old long time, and I'm still working on it. But to discover the root of that was pretty outrageous. Thank you. Yeah, definitely, playlister. These 2 girls in my comments are Celeste. And I have a huge crush on that. You see if either one is crush on me, please. I'll take a look at it, playlister. Absolutely, absolutely. So you have the Hanged Man. So I'll pull a card for each of you who are on the list, who have been joining me. I'll pull a card for after I do the general reading. I have got the Morgan Greer deck with us tonight as well that I'm going to take a look at. But the Hanged Man is, again, this card came up last night, and I read this card in a different way than I'd ever read it before, and I'm still feeling this interpretation is just as true tonight as it was last night. And that's checking in, like I said, checking in on the belief systems. Like, what have you been told? What do you believe? Why do you believe them? Is it actually true for you? And I think like how to manifest and move forward on your own, like listening to your own intuition, not even listening to me, not listening to anybody. Just what do you believe? And none of us are bad. There's not a one of us that is, out to do malicious things on purpose. And there's awful things that are happening in the world all the time. Absolutely. But your job is to do the best with your life, not to be worrying about other people's, because if you just do your life well and you start to affect the people around you and start to choose the right energy around you, you get out of this hanged man energy and you start to actually run things the way you want to run them, not the way other people tell you how to run them, or not through the lens of what other people do to you. Yep. So at any rate, so strength card is, and then we are pulling on our own strength. So I'm going to leave that at that. I like how the strength card and then this the sun card really echo one another. I mean, I just think that, this really is pulling from our own personal strength. And I really love how the sun card is like that center of the tree. We nourish ourselves. We nourish ourselves by reaching up to the divine, by looking at things not in a beastly way, but as in taming the beast. And actually, think about that Beauty and the Beast story. Like, she loved that horrid individual so much that she eventually broke the spell. Can you love the beast inside you so much that eventually you break your own icy heart and you break the barriers and the defenses that you hold against yourself in order to actually run your life and believe in yourself and get out of the hangman energy? Take a look at things from a different perspective. That's always a message with the hanged man card. Who can love a bat? I love bats. They're wonderful. But we all like Batman, right? Like, he's a jerk, but he's kind of like an awesome guy, right? All right, so let's pull some cards from the Morgan Greer deck for everybody who's on the chat tonight. I'm supposed to be on the bed, but I'm on my phone. Yeah, I'm supposed to be in bed too. I got up at 4 this morning to go to work/school. All right. So Jay, I've got you on. Lila, you were on as well. If you're still on, let me know. And if you have a question, I'm happy to answer for you. Hi, Lila. There you are. Thanks for everybody joining me tonight. It's always fun to have a few people on the chat. And like I said, definitely go back and listen to the beginning of this reading and listen to some of the things I discussed about those belief systems. And I did share a personal perspective. I didn't go into like super harsh detail about it, but I definitely talked a little bit about that being, what it means to examine your belief systems and how deep they can run and how ruinous they can be. So this is the Morgan Greer deck, and one of the things I talked about at the beginning of the reading was about how this is a great deck to start learning to read for yourself. The cards are very tiny in this particular deck, which I kind of like because my hands are tiny. All right, so Lila, if you do have yes, Jay, Lila, and Playlister. No, I don't need a moderator, not right now, but thank you, Playlister. Ooh, look at all these cards going crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm going to put this back in and shuffle them properly. I got looking at the screen and not at the deck. Lila, if you have a question, you can either state it out loud or you can keep it to yourself, but I will pull a card for you. All right, so Jay, you had asked about, so I'm going to go way back up to I'm going to go way back up to your question, which was, what's my friendship with my friend Jasmine? Oh, how will it be in the future? And will I have success in the entertainment business? Okay. Friendship with Jasmine. Ah, there's 2 cards, right? Oh, 3 cards that just popped out. So you got the 9 of Cups as well. So the 9 of Cups is a card of abundance. You know, we started the reading out with the 9 of Cups here in the Wild Unknown Tarot, but you also got the 9 of Cups in the, and I like the way that this person is dressed like a clown. That to me says, I didn't actually, it's not normally clownish behavior, but I don't know why I'm saying clownish behavior, but I almost see that as a performance energy. If you want to be a performer, go for it. If you want to be a performer, go for it. It's really up to you. Having success in the entertainment business is all about, it's up to you. You know what, being successful in the entertainment business, I think if you see in the movies, you know, it's always the person who actually shows up raw and is real and just like dives in, and they're not trying to perform. And that's when they actually win. Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, that's a great energy. Queen of Cups is a mastery of emotion. It's a mastery of creativity. It's a hugely creative figure. Hugely creative figure. And she's looking towards the, well, for me, she's looking towards the east, I suppose. So I don't know, maybe your endeavors are found by looking east. And then we have the 5 of Wands card. You have a 5 of Wands. So, you know, again, I'm coming back to a little bit of this like clowning kind of thing. You know what? Don't take things so seriously. And that's kind of what I said before, either with your friend Jasmine or either, yeah, you're seeing that. Don't take it all so seriously. And that's where you're going to find success. Be yourself. Right? And go back to the beginning of this reading too. I invite you to replay it. There's a tag from a tea bag that I had a couple of days ago, and it keeps kind of hanging around. I read it not once, but twice. I'm not going to read it again, but yeah, 5 of Wands energy. Don't take it so seriously. You've got master your emotions. You know, don't let yourself get out of control about it, or like, you know, get too intense about it. Be queenly. Be, you know, in that beautiful receptive energy. Receive as much as you're putting, you know, you're giving out to people in terms of your friendships and in terms of what you do as a performer. So those are 3 cards I got for you. I'm going to put them back in the deck, and general career reading is what you're looking for, Lila. Okay. And playlister, you're asking about, Mom, think about after abandoning me when I was about a week old. I don't know if you still want me to read on that, or if you wanted me to ask about the 2 people in your class. And your name is Abe, by the way. Yes, Abe. You have a huge crush on them. Let's see what happens. I will read about, I'll pull a card. I'm going to pull a card for the question about your mom, and then I'll pull a question about your love life. And we'll pull a question about your love life. So, Mom, and I would search your own heart on that one, Abe. Okay. Search your heart on that one. And if you're still in touch with your mom, do you want to maintain that contact? Yes or no? I mean, that's really up to you. And it's not bad that you wouldn't want to. It's not bad that you do want to. I'm going to take this one, Ace of Cups. This is filling up your own cup. Again, coming back to everything that was in the general reading. Find that when I talk about this a lot at the beginning of this reading, well before you even came on the chat. And there's a cup of, and there's a a dove in this. I wanted to say it was an eagle, but it's not. It's actually a peaceful dove. This is also the root chakra. It's coming up from the lotus. You know, a lotus flower is actually rooted in, you usually see lotuses in these like mucky ponds. You've never spoken before. Okay. A lotus flower is, sorry, I was having a sip of water. A lotus flower is a beautiful flower that has its roots way down deep through the water in the mud of a yucky pond, but yet it still blooms. So no matter where you came from, no matter where we all came from, you have the propensity to come into a well that does seem empty, like I was saying earlier, before you came even on the chat. We all have this place. We can create anything from nothing. And that goes back to your question, Jay. What can you create from seemingly nothing? Tap into the divine. This is the hand of the divine bringing this cup to you. You can choose to take up that cup and to do whatever you want with it. You go find your mom. You can get to know your mom. You can come to her with a gift of love. And that can be it can be now, that can be at any point. But regardless, give that gift, accept that gift of love from God, from the divine. Understand that you are a perfect child of God, perfect child of the universe, whatever that higher power, that bigger than you thing is out there. And no matter who you have in your life, the two ladies who you admire at school, no matter what relationship you come to, when you come through a cup of love that you have filled from yourself, that you know yourself and you love yourself this much that you're overflowing, you're going to have it for your mom, for anyone who has, would in the eyes of anybody have done you wrong. It doesn't matter who's in your life because you've got everything within yourself. And when you have that kind of power within yourself, the right people are going to be in your life no matter what. You're going to know exactly how to handle things. You got a handle on that cup. I don't even need to pull another card for you. That's that. All right, Lila. Yes, it is a lily pad. Yep. You will be all right. You will be absolutely all right, Abe. That card, Ace of Cups, to come up for you. Boy, you got it. You got it. Know that. Right? Lila, you asked about career, general career reading. I can pull the card for you as well. What's the card that wants to come out for Lila in her career? Oh, you got two cards. Ooh, the High Priestess. Supposed to be doing intuitive work. Huh? Maybe something intuitive. She's sitting on a crescent moon. She's got the Akashic records. She's also dressed in blue and purple. High Priestess, that's very spiritual stuff. Whatever you do, you need to have a spiritual connection to it. It needs to feed you spiritually, not just financially. And it could be something that just feeds you spiritually, and it doesn't matter what the finances are. And you could be raking it in, but it doesn't matter. You have to have a spiritual connection to it. Yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, with the color blue, that's the throat chakra. And then the violet, again, yep, that's right. And then you also got the world. So these are two major arcana, Lila. I don't know what your career questions are right now, or what you're considering, but regardless, your connection to it, whatever you're going to be drawn to, or whether, and search in terms of what you want to do. It needs to be something that really speaks to you on a spiritual level, like something like that you're really drawn to, that feels like divine and good work, and it is coming to you from the divine. And while doing that, you have all of these skills, and you've got the world in your hands. You've mastered, you've got the drive here. That's the sign of Aries in the bottom. You've got that strength card. This is that strength card that's coming up again. We had that come up in the general reading right about the time that you got on. And then you've got the eagle here, which is one of the symbols of the sign of Scorpio. So again, there's that deep, intimate connection, drive, strength to manage it, intimate connection, And the sign of there's an interesting sign of Aquarius. It's not, even though it's spiritual work that you will do, it's something you're doing on this plane, and something that actually puts your feet on the ground. It's not just this, like, such a connection to the divine that you're like out in the stars, you're out in the ether. You're actually doing this in a way that serves humanity. Your moon is Scorpio. There you go. Is your current profession your right path? If it's speaking to you spiritually, that's where you're gonna. That's what you're doing. If it's not what you're doing, find work that you can do in this vein, and start doing it even on a part-time basis. That's the only way you're going to be happy. Okay. It's in your 5th house. So your north node is Aqua. That makes sense. That is, yeah, that's where you're supposed to be going. You're supposed to absolute north node. You know what that means, right? That's what I'm struggling with at the moment. And so your north node Aqua in your 5th house. Your 5th house is your house of creativity and children and risk taking. And it's Aquarius. That's interesting because that's also a fixed sign. So is Leo. But so it's actually, you've got the zodiac and just a little bit opposite. So you would definitely, if you're, yeah, it's got to be it's got to do something that you do for humanity, you do for the world. So that's if what you're doing currently, Lila, isn't actually feeding you in this way, is not filling those criteria, I think you already know what does, or you're going to find it pretty darn soon. Okay. You took a risk. You know what? That ain't so bad. 5th house is all about risk taking. 5th house is all about risk taking. You left your job. Well, there you go. And now you're a little worried about what's coming up next. Yeah, I get that. I'm about to do that next week. It is what it is. As I got to pursue the higher goal, right? I got to pursue the higher goal. I, like you, I can't, if I'm not spiritually bound to it, can't do it. Cannot do it. I have Sagittarius in my 10th house, so that explains that. Jay, go ahead. Yeah, ask one more question, and then I got to wrap it up because I got to go to bed. I've been up since 4 a.m. and I got to get up and go to work in the morning. What do you got for me? Yeah, you got that. I feel you, Lila. I feel you. So, yeah, you can ask one more question, Jay. Quickly. I'm shuffling. One more card for Jay. Both thrilling and frightening. I know, right? What year will your success happen? What were the 2 cards I pulled for you? I pulled for you the Queen of Cups, which is a 1 card. And you are very welcome, Lila. You are very welcome. Anytime. If you want if any of you want a real personal, like more in-depth personal reading, my readings are only like $20 for a half an hour. And I'm happy to do that with you. Just email me at lisa.loring. It's lisa.loring, LORING @gmail.com. And set you up the PayPal or whatever. Jay, what did I pull for you earlier? The Queen of Cups. I can't remember. The Queen of Cups, the 9 of Cups. And there was another one in there. Do you remember what they were, Jay? And the clown was on the 9 of Cups. Let's see if we can remember. The Queen is a 1. The 9 is a 9, of course. And I feel like there was one more card that we had for you, right? Because usually sometimes the numbers on those cards, just like cover card, is a really good indicator of timing. It's a great question, but we can definitely look, or we can pull another one altogether. But I'd like to go back to the ones that we had for you initially. Was it it was a 5 of Wands. That's what it was. To not take things so seriously. So you had a 9 and a 1 with the Queens. That's 10 plus 5, so 15. So you maybe like a year and a half. I'm thinking a year and a half. That's what came in my head. 1.5. No, it wasn't the Fool. It was no, it wasn't the 3. It was the 5 of Wands. It was the 9 of Cups and the Queen. So maybe like within the year and a half. And I would definitely whatever you're doing, I would just, if you haven't already started working on it, get to work. Get to work before the end of the year. Just make it your focus, make it your thing. Make it your thing. Don't worry about your friends too. Your friends will, whoever's supposed to come along with you for this ride will come along with you for this ride. So there we are. Yeah, quickly, Marsh. I am heading to bed. I am heading to bed. Okay, LOL. So yeah, so that number 15 is make of it what you want. But from right now, I'm just thinking the thing that came up right off the top of my head was a year and a half, 1.5. And it can't be 1.5 weeks. I don't know. Maybe it's a month and a half. Maybe 15, like a fortnight kind of thing. I don't know. Marsh, go ahead. What is Aries hiding from me? I'm worried about him and I feel he's distracted by something right now. Don't worry. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, Marsh G, I don't even need to pull a card for you. You, right now, I think the important thing is that we all, like Lila just said, it's thrilling. It's a little uncertainty, but the uncertainty is thrilling and frightening. Let go control of everything. You know what? This Aries, don't worry about whatever they're doing. Don't worry about, you can't control anybody and no one can control you. Think about if the question was being asked about you. I will pull a card for you just to see what comes up. But in all seriousness, we can't control anything. And the more we try to lock down and control, the more unhappy we are because we're not focusing on ourselves. And that wonderful Ace of Cups that Abe got earlier, we're focusing on other people and we're expecting our happiness to come from other people and other situations and external sources. The only external source where happiness should come from is the higher power. And that isn't actually external. That's something that's within us. This is that well. It's that deep, like what's in this well of this stump of this tree of this Ace of Pentacles. That deep. This is like a further, like this like takes that and like looks at it like in a microscope. So Marsh G, I'm going to pull you one. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And I don't know what that person is hiding from you, but that's really the last thing in the world that you should be worried about. If you're looking behind your back about something, that isn't even worth your time. That came up yesterday in a reading for somebody else. And I'm thinking of that card right now, that 9 of Wands card that came up for that person. She was like worried about, oh, was this person? And he turned out it was player energy that came up. And, and why was she even involved in that? Because the 9 of Wands, the guy looked like he was like looking over his shoulder in a very defensive posture. And I've got a Knight of Pentacles. So, whatever's coming in is slow moving. Maybe he's committed, but maybe it's just slow commitment. I feel he's struggling. It's not okay. So maybe he is struggling and he's taking his time coming to a decision about something. You got the 9 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, excuse me. This is the slowest card and the slowest knight in the deck, but it is a card of action no matter what. It's still a knight. It's still a knight. But it's a knight that's super committed no matter what. And you know what? And if he's not, whatever it is, you stay committed to your path, number one. And keep your eyes on your own paper. And which is what I said earlier, but he may be distracted, but whatever he is, he's paying attention to something. This guy's super intent on that sword that he's got or whatever. That's not even a sword. That's a like a jousting thing, right? Yeah. Yeah. See, there you go. Well, I feel he's struggling. It's not even about other people, right? And it doesn't have to be, he could be just super focused on his job or whatever it is. He's trying to figure something out, but he's super intent on it and he's staying committed to whatever it is. And you stay committed to your stuff too, because at the end of the day, when we do our own things, that's when we're our best for the people around us. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I enjoyed having everybody on the chat. And hello, there I am. I am going to head to bed. And let's see. I'm going to try to do a reading in the morning on the East Coast. But it might be tomorrow night. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Let's talk to you later. You're welcome, Marsh G. You're welcome, everybody.